A few days ago, Pig 64 on Roblox came out. It was great. However, there were a few things that didn't go so great, a few things I didn't like personally about the quests and about the game. And well, in this video, we're just gonna go over that. So over here on Twitter, Team I2R, you know them. They're the team behind Pig 64. They tweeted the the game is out, and I played it live on stream. In fact, I had an entire 3-hour live stream of me trying to get the badge from Fleet of Facility for Pig 64, and I didn't even get it. The next day, I did an entire 2-hour live stream. I still didn't get it. And this is the problem. You see, people were trying to figure out how to get this badge and how to do everything correctly for 6 hours. And for 6 hours, nobody could figure out which game it was in, how to get it, and it was just genuinely overall a pain. It wasn't until exploiters started hacking the game and then they just figured out how to do it, which typical for every single Roblox event in Roblox game. But the thing is, this wasn't a Roblox event. It was just a collaboration with 3 different games. So in case you didn't play the game, I'm just going to explain it to you. So at the very end of the game, you had to do this certain quest, and that quest pretty much made you go to 3 different games and figure out what to do in those games, and then you get a badge, and then you unlock the key in Pig 64. It was kind of like Ready Player One, and kind of like the recent Hunt Mega Edition, except this one was just for the absolute sweats. Barely any hints like we previously did with the Hunt Mega Edition. And it was just, it was so, oh. And the only hint they gave out wasn't until the first 2 keys were already found. And this is what it said. It said, stuck at a crossroads, in the land you may have been, is Omega the key, hidden where our eyes can't see. Destruction will be your path to guiding you along. Fighting in the light is the first verse of this song. The, the only thing that pretty much gave it away was the word fighting in the last sentence, because the game was literally called Fighting. Because the games you had were Tower Heroes, Flee the Facility, and finally Fighting. However, it was Flee the Facility that was found first, and it was Flee the Facility that was the hardest. Hence why I spent over 3 hours, maybe even 5, technically considering the other stream, trying to figure out this freaking event thing. Pretty much what you had to do was the first map you had to go to was the library map, and it was a whole bunch of waiting. That's something that I didn't like either. And then you had to find all of these books and then keep track of the color of the books and then the number that was in the books. Then you had to go to the power plant map. Once again, a whole bunch of waiting, literally just RNG based. And then once you were in the power plant map, you had to pretty much just go to one of the exit doors and just type in the numbers that you were keeping track of in a certain order, and that was your code. Now, thankfully, the code did not change every time you joined a new server. So if you joined a new server, your code would stay the same. However, everyone's code is different. Then after you were done with the code, you had to go to this random little room over here, and it had like a pool, and you had to go into the cracked wall and grab like a token. It was kind of weird. And then finally, after all of that, you had to go to the arcade map. And by that time, it was already like 1 a.m. in the morning, and I was super tired. And then once you were in the arcade map, you had to find this specific arcade machine. Then you had to enter in the coin that you were given, and then you had to do this specific order on one of the joypads and whatnot. It was such a long process. And then after that, you get teleported to a sub place. And at first, it was unbelievably hard. There were four enemies, and you only had like 15 minutes. Four enemies in a maze, four computers. It was genuinely the hardest thing ever. And thankfully, the next day they nerfed it. But oh my gosh, this part of the entire thing was the part that made me want to just gouge my eyes out. I know that's a bit graphic, but holy crap, this was the I never want to play this game ever again. Don't get me wrong, I have nothing against developers any of these games. I'm sure they're very nice people. It's just that the way they did this entire thing was just messy. Oh, and another thing, after I did that first 3 hour live stream, everyone was going insane in the I2R Discord server, and it was because that there was like a weird glitch with the game that was giving everyone all of the badges, and it pretty much meant nothing, but people were going insane thinking that they technically finished the game even though they didn't. Yeah, they had to delete all of the badges and then re-add them all again. The game was down for like 3 hours that night. It was insane. And on top of all that, there were a whole bunch of like bugs and glitches with it the entire time the game was out. And honestly, I feel bad for the developers and the entire ITR's team. It was just it was just stressful for them. Once again, I don't have anything against the developers of Pig 64 or Power Heroes or Fleet of Facility. They're nice people, I'm pretty sure. It's just that the entire thing was just difficult and annoying. And thankfully for me, I was not going to do the keys anyway. They're going to make the keys optional once all of the UGC sells out. So I don't know when that will be. Probably sometime very soon. But I am thankful. They're also adding a skin for everyone who completes Pig 64 Part 2. But anyways, that's just my thoughts on everything. That's just how everything went. I love the game. It's just that it had a lot of annoying things and just bugs, glitches, and all that. Don't harass the developers or nice people. They did a very good job with this game, considering that this was like their pretty much first collaboration with different games. And if you couldn't get any of the keys, don't freak out. It's fine. You're gonna be fine. You can do the thing without the keys pretty soon. Don't know when that is. Me personally, I don't care about the UGC. I'm gonna be so honest. I just want to complete the game and get the skin and Piggy. So yeah. Anyways, that's all I have to say about Pig 64. Like, subscribe, and I'll see you guys next time.